Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Eat, Sleep, Suplex, Retweet.
You can call David Hockney one time, you can call Scott McLeod, David Campbell, and Jack Graham two-time draft winners, as I am the latest winner of the ESSR draft, and it is the 10th season anniversary. You are watching the kickoff show. Welcome. This is going to be the biggest draft we've ever seen in the history of ESSR. And usually, if you win this, you go on and you get a shot at the ESSR title. But if you win this season of the draft, it all changes, because this time you will become the ESSR champion. I think I threw an extra S in there, but that's just
always do it. Always do it.
What's wrong with my hair, Ryan? My hair's absolutely fine. But no matter, we move on. You know these boys. We know them all so well. You hear us every Saturday on Spotify, iTunes, Anchor, wherever you get your podcast, everywhere. YouTube. We're on YouTube right now. Hi, YouTube. How you doing? But let's just get down to the nitty gritty. You know, it's a 3-2 split on your male and female competitors. Tag teams get picked first. It is a snake draft this season because we do have a large amount of competitors. We do have the usual people. We've got our Listeners League winner. We've got a returning Listeners League winner, Ryan Dalglish, because it is such a big season. We also have returning competitors such as Alan and Daniel. There you go. We have Stacey and we have Grant. It's all happening. You can select from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW Dynamite, and Rampage. The likes of the NJPW US title will not count for title matches. Same with any Impact Championships you get defended on AEW Dynamite. It's solely just the titles relevant to that company. Mm-hmm. And I think I've gone on a bit for too long here. Are you ready, boys? Because you don't know what it is yet. Only I know the order because I am drafting last.
Yeah,
I have sent it to Stephen to update the spreadsheet. I will send it to the draft chat momentarily. Drafting from the number one position this season is former Listeners League winner Ryan Dalglish.
Oh, come on! Come on!
The season is ruined already.
As if the listeners. Do you know what I think of this? Fucking, there's the shoe. All right, there's that shoe, and there's another shoe.
I got my lucky Kane mask here. You've made him very angry. Kane hates you right now, Jack. Look at him. Look into his eyes. Tell him what you've done.
But David Campbell, do not fret. You're number 2.
You motherfucker.
Come on.
That is outrageous.
Oh, it's basically the highest I think David may have ever drafted from.
But David Hockney, do not fret either. You're drafted from 3rd.
Yes.
Unless you say I'm 4th here, I'm gonna. Unless I'm next year, Jack, I'm gonna.
Best draft ever.
Scott, I don't have good news because it is your brother Ross that is drafting from 4th position.
Oh, it's fine. He won't be here anyway. He'll be late. I have to skip him.
The universe is aligned against me. This is punishment for me leaving earlier last season.
Oh, man.
Number 5 is the returning Alan McLucas.
Oh, that's dangerous. That is dangerous.
Number 6, the man that came so close to taking me off the top spot at the end of last season, Stephen Wilson, will be drafting from the middle of the pack. If I do remember correctly, he did say
he said he wanted 6. He said he wanted 6. That's interesting.
So he's got exactly what he wants. And another returning fixture to the draft, Daniel Campbell, will be drafted in 7th. With Stacey drafted in 8th. So there were the two returning people. And then we've got another returning person, Grant McRobbie. He's drafted number 9th. He's been one that's been tipped. You know, you said in the recent SDL show that he's the best average score, best median score. He's best everything aside from winning the draft. 7. How many times are we going to be saying that tonight? A lot, because there's too many folk in this, but no matter. Number 9, 10, 9, doesn't matter. It was 9 anyway. Is JP, the recent winner of the Listeners League. If you want to get involved with that, send the socials, messaging on Facebook, send Stephen Wilson a message on Twitter. Just get involved. It's a fun time. We have a WhatsApp chat. They all talk wrestling. They all talk shite, to be honest. Get involved. Why not? But Ryan Gallagher will be drafting after JP. Then we have Sarah. Then we have Gary Kernahan. Then we have Scott McLeod.
And what number is that? Maybe fucking 14?
14th, because I'm drafting from 15th.
Jesus, unlucky boys.
Oh dear.
Unlucky
Well,
boys.
this is where we've got this bloody snake draft going here.
Yeah. So it's
got to a point I thought
It
when
is
you got to
nice.
10, when you got to 10, I thought, oh, please let me be number 11 or 12 because I'm an 11-time champion now and I'm going for 12 in this season.
It is important to remind people that the snake draft begins in round 2, so that order will stay for the tag round in the first round, and then beginning in the second singles round, it will go in reverse order. So that is important to know.
So the good thing, I'll be drafting last from round 1, and I'll be getting a pick straight away.
I suppose coming for you, Jack, for this fix that you have done in this draft. I'm coming to get you.
There's no fix here. There's this. Quite frank, I don't care. I know I'm not winning this. I've got nothing to play. I'm just here to cause fun and anarchy. And the way this show will be going as the picks get collected in, the picks will be sent to David Campbell. He will announce who the first picks will be. And then I will throw over to my lovely analysis from this evening, Scott and Dave, who will give a brief insight to it. I think we'll take tons about that. And I think if... Shut up, JP.
Fuck off.
Oi.
You're coming into the big boy league and you're treating us like this?
Well, Jack, if you're ready to kick off the draft, I have our first official pick here.
Yes, I am ready to score off every single tag team that I won't get to pick. Here we go.
Well,
Here's the first selection of the draft.
Ryan Dalglish is not beating about the bush. He is a man of habit, and he is going back to the well with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman for his pick. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman is Ryan Dalglish's tag team pick.
No surprise there, Scott. We're seeing Reigns and Heyman kind of taking off straight away. A bit of a staple in the tag team division now in the SSR draft, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, because this can go one of two ways. You're missing out valuable points for getting like title defenses, but Roman doesn't defend the title that often, and also he's not going to lose anytime soon. But he is a fixture on TV, even if he doesn't wrestle every week. So it's one of the better tag teams, and if it's had success in the past, you can see why Ryan would go to it. And plus, I think being number 1, it's one of the highest teams to get.
Yeah,
well, David Campbell, you're number 2.
I know exactly who I'm picking. I get my first choice.
I've often thought you as a real number 2 there, David.
I'm sticking with that family. I'm picking the Usos.
Damn it!
Excellent. Dave, you're a known favourite of the Usos. You drafted one half of them as a singles pick in the transfer window last season. Give us your thoughts of them going to a tag team this time round, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, no less.
Yeah, obviously, they were drafted as singles competitors last time around, and individually they both did great. Maybe as a tag team, they might not score as many, given that they might be in fewer matches because they've started to show more matches as singles competitors. Maybe it might be slightly less compared to what we're used to seeing, but they are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and I'm expecting them to go on a lengthy run. So there's plenty of championship points on pay-per-view to be had there. I think it's a very, very strong pick from the GOAT.
Well, you're number 3, Dave. So give us your tag team pick.
Well, annoyingly, the GOAT's chosen my first choice. So I'm going to resort to playing it safe once more, and I'm going to dip into the AEW pool. I'm taking the Young Bucks.
Ooh. Oh, the tag team champions, Scott, they're scheduled to have a steel cage match at All Out, where I think they'll probably lose. What's your thoughts?
This is also the interesting thing about this particular Survivor Series season is the first big show, usually when we start it, is immediately All Out, so it's a chance to get some big points. I agree with you. While the Bucks will be prominent features after this, being one of the top of the tag division with or without the belts, and being aligned to Kenny Omega, they're losing it All Out. I feel confident in that as well. So we'll see in the long term. Short term, maybe not the best pick. Long term, we'll have to wait and see.
Just going to copy off the winning team of last season, Dave, ain't that right? But no, David Campbell's got a juicy reaction face here. Who's Ross McLeod's tag team?
This is it's very interesting. It's exciting, and it is not Cretaceous. It's not Jurassic. It's Jurassic. It's the Jurassic Express picked by Ross McLeod.
Now, Dave, this is who I think will be the tag team to take the belts off the Young Bucks at All Out in this steel cage match, and they've not really been a mainstay in the draft, so to speak. So, what's your thoughts on Jurassic Express being taken at 4th, quite high up in a draft in 15? You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? I think that's a very, very good pick from Ross, given that, Jurassic Express, they're one of the most popular tag teams on the roster. And as you mentioned, they've got a tag title match with the Bucks All Out. But what I think is quite clever here is that Jungle Boy has also been getting a lot of wins as a singles competitor lately. And I think taking him off the board from the singles picks is also quite a smart move. And I think it really gives Ross not only a strong tag team, but it also takes away a prominent singles competitor.
So Campbell, believe it's Al McLucas that is next to be doing the...
Well, you talk about taking away a prominent singles competitor. That's what Al McLucas is going to do. It is the WWE champion Bobby Lashley and MVP.
Scott, Gary must be crying watching this right now that his tag team for the past 3 seasons, I think, is now gone.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about people repeating things from winning, potential winning season or taking things that have worked on other teams in the past. Lashley MVP, I think it happened a few seasons back. We were questioning it the first time it happened, but it's proven successful. And also with the rumours that very soon Big E may cash in on Bobby Lashley, taking Bobby away as a singles competitor, which means you don't lose any points from that. But Bobby will still be a prominent fixture alongside MVP on Raw, with or without the WWE Championship.
Now it's the man that gave number 2. He says the top 1%. It says it's his podcast. What is his tag team for this season?
Bro, RK Bro, going to Stephen Wilson.
A good shout. Dave, RK Bro, you had... I don't think you actually had any of them last season, but we've seen you had AJ Omos last season. You saw that this is the tag
That's
team.
right, yeah.
Take the belts off you at the end. Been such a prominent fixture on Raw. Been talking about that quite a bit already. I get it. If this was always going to go at this point, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think there was a done deal to have them picked at this point. It's given that they've just won the Raw tag team titles and they're prominently featured. They're one of the most entertaining aspects of Raw. They were picked as singles competitors last time. Getting picked as a tag team, once again, it goes back to that Jurassic Express argument. You take two prominent singles competitors off the board, but as a tag team, I think they'll do just as well.
And now it's Daniel Campbell next, Dave.
Well, this is it. It's again, this trend continues. The singles competitor with a manager. The AEW champion is off the board. It is Kenny Omega and Don Callis.
We also, Scott, we've seen them that last season. Didn't really set the world alight, but it's probably more of a tactical play, especially in such a big season. It's quite a big singles competitor off the board at this time.
Yeah, but I think it makes a lot of sense because taking Kenny the singles pick, he again also doesn't wrestle every week, so I think he's better off in this position. And especially if, because Full Gear also counts as part of the season, if Hangman comes back and wins the title, you again don't lose anything from any championship points because he's part of a tag team.
The lovely Stacey Smith is next to submit our tag team.
Well, she's done it and she's picked the team that just lost the Raw tag team titles. It's AJ Styles and Omos going to Stacey Wilson's team, which I can tell you right now.
Stacey Wilson?
Stacey Smith, sorry. But our team's the Nikki Bargain Bellas, which I think is absolutely amazing.
A brilliant name. Nikki Barbellas.
They have just lost the tag titles, Dave, but even if it is just mainly AJ Styles wrestling, Omos is always going to be in his corner, and they're appearing a couple of times a night on Raw. So it's again, it's a good solid pick here.
Appearances alone aren't a bad thing. We've seen that with Zelina Vega in season 5, where she barely wrestled at all, yet she was the highest scoring person purely just down to appearances. I think AJ and Omos in this instance, they may have took a bit of a loss at SummerSlam, but there's nothing to say that they can't bounce back from it. And obviously Omos is getting a lot more exposure as a single star. As long as they make consistent appearances week in and week out, I think that's quite a safe bet for Stacey.
And next, I believe it is the returning Grant McRobbie.
It's a team I have to check his team name. This is it. Grant comes in with his AEW names. I only know them as Everrise, but they are now known as 2.0.
2.0. Okay. Scott, this is someone that's been flung right into Dynamite. We've seen them not I don't think they've won any matches yet, but they're right in that position with John Moxley, Eddie Kingston, Darby Allin. They're in amongst it, and they've recently signed a contract. They've wrestled in Rampage, which is the newest show including this season. I think this is a tag team that will have a lot of backing backstage by AEW. I can't fault this at all.
Yeah, I mean, they have wrestled on Elevation Dark where they've got wins, but then again, we have to consider the fact that those shows aren't counted, and the shows they have appeared on, like Rampage and Dynamite in the past, they have taken losses. While they've been featured in big matches, they've lost them. So this is a long term. We've got to look at how many wins 2.0 might actually get. And we have to look back, and this is maybe one of the more questionable tag team picks.
Well, the one JP is next and I don't think he's made a questionable pick. I think that's a genius pick because I was thinking about it if I was lower down. He's picked Darby Allin and Sting.
Oh, I had that on my list.
Clever.
Dave, I am actually quite annoyed about this. I was wanting Sting kind of in the bottom rounds, hopefully, or even taking quite high up in the snake draft. But this is one that just kind of escaped my mind to take. And it also gives the protection of Darby Allin if he loses his match against CM Punk at All Out. You're not going to take the points here for losing that.
Not at all, no. And instead, you just be picking up regular tag team wins if Darby and Sting continue to compete together. And we've seen before, they've competed as a tag team regularly, and I've yet to see them lose a tag team match together. So this could be a hidden gem from JP here. I think he's pulled a blinder here. Yeah,
it's Ryan Gallagher, the other half of the Goat Tones.
Shades of the Goat Tones, Jack, with this pick. Shades of the Goat Tones, a women's tag team pick. It's Shotzi and Knox for Ryan Gallagher.
I'm kind of. This is why I'm kind of glad it's been picked up, Scott, because that's the tag team that seems to be the next in line for women's tag belts against Tamina and Natalya, who haven't been drafted yet. If anybody was wanting to take that up, and do we see a win for them in the horizon for the belts?
It's hard to really tell because they've won 3 straight times against the champions. But then WWE could do a swerve on us and say, "Oh, they won a non-title, but when the title's on the line, boom, surprise, the champs retain." So you never quite know. As I've found out multiple times about taking a women's tag team can sometimes have not the results you're hoping for. So this is another wait and see.
And I believe it is Sarah Grieve drafting from a lowly position yet again. What's a tag team?
Well, it's a checkered history for these guys in the draft, but now could be the time they're very successful. The Lucha Bros are going to Sarah Grieve's team.
Oh, the Lucha Bros, Dave. Not surprised they've been picking up here, especially such a large selection with the amount of folk here, 15. What's your thoughts on this pick?
No, I'm glad to see the Lucha Brothers back, especially, with the addition of Pac and the Death Triangle. And they seem to be having an interaction with Andrade El Idolo as well. So quite a few names floating around, a bit of an angle going on. We could see allegiances switch, but I think as long as they're getting featured, whether it's tag team or singles action, I think that's a very, very safe bet from Sarah.
I think we need to stop saying names because I don't want anyone reminded of any picks that I want. But it is Gary Kerrigan that's coming up next.
This man is an innovator. He does it all the time. He always throws a swerve ball. He's taken someone that all of us wanted. He's picked the tag team of Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone. What a bastard.
Oh,
what a bastard.
Brilliant.
Right, so Scott, I will take this. This is something that is purely tactical as well. This isn't anything that's going to get him a lot of points. So I will scupper the interview points of Tony Schiavone, and they will only get the one appearance on Dynamite because Jim Ross isn't on Rampage to replace Chris Jericho. I think Tony Schiavone is on Rampage either. I don't know, but he'll be getting 1 point a week and then 2 points in the All Out pay-per-view. But that is a top singles competitor for last season gone.
I think Gary knew that after Schiavone became one of his highest scoring player, people might look to take Schiavone, and so he swept it away and taking Jim Ross, who before when we talk about getting taken on wrestling people, nobody even thought about Jim Ross before.
Gary said, "If I can't play with my ball, I'm taking it home before you're about to hit a penalty." That's what he's just done to all of us there. I respect it.
Scott, it's your time to shine. Who's your tag team?
Is it? Oh, yeah. I didn't realise. we got to me. Yeah, I thought there was somebody in between.
Fortune favours the prepared.
So, guys, I'm looking down my list here. And you know what? I think, given that you took some top teams in the first few, I'm going to do something that gets me a tag team that will regularly appear together, but also takes another prominent singles person off the board. Gentlemen, the Doctor will see you now, as I'm taking Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter as a tag team.
I expected that. I expected it to happen, Dave. Did you?
Actually, not in that capacity, because I had Jamie Hayter as a singles pick ready to go in case I had to scrape the bottom of the barrel.
Mental. Which means he's awful quiet because he is up next. He's drafting last in this tag team pick. He's looking at that list. Jack, who's your tag pick, mate?
It's been scored out so much already. And I think I am going to play tactical in the hope that it could potentially pay off later on with singles picks. I know I'm not winning, So I'm going to not take the piss, but I think it's a pairing that's been quite prominent recently. I am going to take Mansoor and Ali.
That's actually a pretty good pick.
Oh,
I like that.
Saudi Arabia this
very
season.
smart.
We do have the greatest show or whatever. I don't even know what the pay-per-view is called. I don't care.
The Crown Jewel, yeah.
I do predict that they will be in the tag title match on that show, and it will be a pay-per-view. And I don't know if the Saudi princes will want Mansoor to lose said Saudi pay-per-view.
I was undefeated on Saudi pay-per-views.
I was so close to taking them as well, between them and Britt Baker.
So yes, Mansoor and Ali is off the board, and we go live to David Campbell, who have Ryan Dalglish for his first round draft pick.
Isn't
won't
it
see him for
ironic?
like 30 chances.
Isn't it ironic that the last pick of the last draft is the first singles pick of this? The man is back in town. You ain't messing around. Becky Lynch, picked by Ryan Dalglish.
Oh, there we go. She just came back, Dave.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch seems to be in a prominent position as a heel now, the recent champion. Going to elevate other superstars. You probably don't see her losing the title soon. Going to be a mainstay in the show. You can't argue with it, I think.
No, it's amazing how quickly, the fortunes turn here in the draft. She was the very last pick. She only scored 9 points from her SummerSlam appearance alone. And now she gets the distinct honor of being the number 1 draft pick.
Now, David Campbell, you've called somebody a fool for not drafting a certain person straight away. Are you going to make that same foolish mistake?
Fall into my trap, said the spider to the fly. I'm taking Drew McIntyre. God.
Wow.
No surprise, Scott. Drew drafted so high, obviously out the WWE title picture. He can't challenge for it, whilst Bobby Lashley is the champion, but still the top scorer last season. Did me everything that needed to happen for me to win the season. This is a good get for David Campbell, who's on his quest to become a 3-time draft champion here.
Yeah, well, he's backing up what he said. Also, the idea of being in a position to draft Drew, and he's done it. Otherwise, if he hadn't done it, we'd probably be questioning him. We'd be calling him a hypocrite. So he's done the right thing. And if Big E does take the title, that puts Drew back into the title picture. And also, don't forget, we've got King and Queen of the Ring this season, culminating at Crown Jewel. Drew could be a favorite. Get that crown and cape along with the sword. Complete the whole weird ensemble he's got going.
Dave, it's your turn, my friend.
Okay, well, if you're taking a potential king, I'm taking the queen, Charlotte Flair.
Good pick. Good pick.
The recent Raw Women's Champion has been drafted off the board. Don't think she's going to lose at any time soon, Dave. I think it is a great pick to make instead of Raquel Gonzalez. And that position.
Why not Raquel?
She did all right last season.
Why not Raquel, mate? Why not Raquel?
Will Ross McLeod be drafting Raquel next, David?
We don't know. We are waiting on Ross McLeod, but guys, who do you think's made the best pick so far? What are you thinking?
So, if I have to say, I think if I'm combining out of you three, so Ryan, Campbell, and David Hockney, I'd say yourself. Uso's there all the time. And then Drew McIntyre, you can't go. It's Drew McIntyre, you know what I mean?
It is Drew McIntyre, but someone who could have a title opportunity before Drew McIntyre is Ross McLeod's next pick. Mr. Money in the Bank, Big E goes to Ross McLeod.
Yep, very good.
Very nice, Dave. Big E, as I said, Money in the Bank holder, can cash it at any time, probably be involved in Survivor Series. Nothing ever changes, Sarah.
I mean, it's hard not to be sour at that pick, given that there's a potential, chance he could be WWE champion sometime this season.
And there we go. I believe Al McLucas is up next.
Yeah. It's getting tense. The tag team round, everyone had their picks. They were ready to go. This time, people are taking a wee bit longer to think about it. And you've got to remember Alan coming back into the draft first time in a couple of seasons. He doesn't want to make the wrong move here. He got Lashley an MVP, which is a traditional point scorer in this draft. But what is his first singles pick going to be? We just need to see. He is typing. The pick is coming in. Alan McLucas goes for a female pick. Al McLucas goes for Rhea Ripley.
Interesting.
One that needed to go off the board probably next round first. I don't think I can criticize first round picks here, to be honest, considering how big the draft is, Dave. But Rhea Ripley will be on Raw, and it seems like she's going into something with Nikki ASH, and it's not monopolizing, but it's limiting the pool of the kind of sparse female talent we see in WWE already.
Yeah, I mean, Rhea's not been the highest scorer in past seasons, but she has been consistent. So, and I think this potential, it could be a partnership with Nikki going down the line, might evolve into something, but I wouldn't have picked her this early on, if I'm being honest.
Well, Stephen Wilson's next.
I thought he was laughing for some reason, for some evil, wicked reason, but it turns out he was singing, and he was singing, ha, ha, Damien Priest.
Damien Priest. Damn it.
There you go. He was in my team last season, Scott. Unfortunately, traded him out. I could have won by a bigger margin had I kept him, but it was the month off TV that threw doubt into my head. But I don't think there's any doubt in this pick. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I think when Ryan had at one point Sheamus and Apollo both holding IC and US respectively at one point in his team, we learned the value of the secondary champions, and also remember end of the season Survivor Series champ be champ. So Priest, if he's still US champ by then, is guaranteed a spot on that show.
Here we go, and it's Daniel Campbell next. Who is he going for?
He's telling me to reveal that his team is pretty fly for a Paul Heyman guy. He wants that known. And he is ready to start a rising. He is ready to start a revolution. He has drafted a Messiah. He has drafted a traditional in the early seasons point scorer in Seth Rollins.
Well, Dave, where does Seth Rollins go from a loss to Edge?
Ooh, difficult to say, really. But there have been rumors floating around that he could potentially challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal title. It's a bit of a damaging loss against Edge, but who's to say he can't bounce back? He's a prominent feature of SmackDown. He's very entertaining. I wouldn't worry about it. Maybe not. So maybe given the point scored this time around, maybe not a first round pick. But like you said, Jack, there's a lot more competitors, so you could sort of got to delve deep into the pool.
Well, Campbell, what has Stacey got going on for her first round pick?
Is typing. The dots are going. She is thinking about this decision. Obviously, a lot of still big talents left on the board. Stacey doesn't, as much as she might say she wants that participation trophy. She's coming back for season 10. She was part of this draft's history. And it's going to be a big one. Whatever she goes for here. So
I think it's quite interesting to note that the Raw, the 3-hour shows, the big show, the male competitors are so depleted already.
Yeah, I know. Well, we don't have a male competitor from Stacey. We have a female competitor, and despite the fact that she did lose the title at SummerSlam in controversial fashion, Stacey is putting her money on her to get that back. Bianca Belair goes to Stacey's team.
Bianca Belair, Scott, obviously has just lost, but I think that Becky Lynch will be used to kind of elevate Belair in a way. Even if she doesn't win the title, I do think that Belair will probably have a good string of TV matches coming her way for pins. And all you need is points.
Doesn't matter what I have to say about Bianca Belair. Yeah, solid pick. David, please tell us what's happened.
Oh, the GOAT's reaction.
It's his debut in the draft. Grant McRobbie drafts the cult of personality CM Punk.
It was bound to happen.
I told you he would go for round one.
I knew it would happen. Of course, it's Grant that does it as well.
Right, Dave, I'll come to you because you're also very happy to be proven right. I don't think CM Punk's a round one pick. I think that he's wrestling once a month. Obviously, he does have the guaranteed victory all out. So if you put the captaincy on him to that point and switch it, probably will pay off. But it's the you don't know when these 10, 12 matches are going to happen.
But this is the conversation I had with Go, okay? CM Punk is money. CM Punk is ratings. And it doesn't matter if he has only 10 or 12 matches a year. We're only talking about a 4-month period that we're working with here. He could work at least a few matches in there. And there's no doubt he's going to appear multiple times on Dynamite and maybe even Rampage a couple of times. I actually had him down as one of my first round picks as well. So Grant getting CM Punk, I think that's a big gain for him.
I think Jack is... I don't even know who that... Oh, that'll be Grant. That'll be Grant. It's a weird name, is Grant. We go to another weirdo, JP. Who's he drafting?
He's drafted the Prince. He's drafted Finn Balor.
No, this is the one. This is the person, Scott, that I think will be challenging Roman Reigns next. I don't think it'll be a win, but Finn Balor is already one of the top guys in SmackDown.
he's definitely in about that mix. I think even if not, then he could also go down to the IC title mix, or even be a candidate for King of the Ring. The prince into a king, that kind of story. So solid pick, I think.
Ryan Gallagher. I think I can guess what this pick is without looking David Campbell's face. Is he so upset that he can't say who it is?
Use your words.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Dave.
So
Campbell, we can't hear you.
Oh no,
We're live, pal.
No.
Oh, this is smashing. The one guy we chose.
He's gone.
The one guy we chose.
Oh, he's gone.
To get our picks for this, and we can't even hear him.
He's back.
Where is he?
No camera.
Let's bring him back.
Fear not, lads! For another Campbell's here! Oh wait, he is back. Shit.
Oh wait, there he is.
Take your time, take your time. Is he coming
there,
back?
guys? And someone was trying
Is
to
he back?
me there, and it knocked me out.
yeah,
It knocked me out.
Back.
The reason I'm so upset is this is what joint custody is all about. Ryan Gallagher's taking Scrap Daddy.
Oh.
I would say, Dave, that Adam Pearce's stock has probably risen since Tony Schiavone and JR's been drafted to a tag team. But where's Adam Pearce been recently?
Well, still not too bad, actually. He was 9th overall in last season, and, I think the GOAT's love of Scrap Daddy, is actually proven to be worthy in the last couple of seasons. I think as long as, he's utilised in the right way and he gets at least a few appearances, there's nothing to say that Adam Pearce can't, be a top 10 scorer once again.
Sarah Greaves up next.
Yeah, I think this could be a sleeper pick. It's a brave pick. In darkness, there is black. Malachi Black goes to Sarah Greaves.
Ooh.
He's having to go at some point, Scott. Big picture in AEW going forward will be in Dynamite, will no doubt be in Rampage. You can't argue with that.
Yeah, and this week also, his week doesn't count. He's only just having his second match after being in the company, a month or so now. So again, not somebody who will wrestle often, but when he does appear, he'll be very valuable.
Yeah.
And we go next to Gary Kernahan, Campbell.
Gary Kernahan, he's a man who's been about the title scene for a very long time now. We're just waiting and getting his pick in here. He is a man who's came second a lot, came third last season, so we'll need to see what Gary goes with here. I'm just raging. Scrap Daddy, how could he do that to me, lads? Honestly, after all,
never trust a GOAT tone.
I would never betray him, ever.
No, you'd never betray anybody, would you? No,
absolutely.
Very loyal fan.
You said it, Scott. Thank you for that.
Surely it's worth it for Drew McIntyre.
Why is he playing? Gary could be playing. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it plays off for him. Gary's went with Excalibur.
Oh, he was on my list. He's on Rampage
First
and
round.
Dynamite.
Rampage and Dynamite. So there's your 2 points a week. Then you'll be on the commentary for your pay-per-views as well.
He's got the whole AEW set. He's collecting them all. Like fucking
This man is taking the piss out of us, and I love it.
I respect the new season drafting so low in the big one. So I think we move on, Scott. It's your time to shine, my friend.
Yes. Now, it's no secret that my drafting strategy last year was abysmal, to say the least. But I think that means I need to redeem myself. And I need to take the Redeemer, the most successful person I had last season, should have had him sooner, the TNT champion, Miro.
He shouldn't have slept this far down. I can't believe he slept this far down.
I was honestly so shocked to this. I thought I was going to get lucky and I was going to start bursting out laughing, but more fool me, Dave.
I know, tell me about it. And I've just realised as well the snake draft is coming in. The mid-card champions are starting to get picked up, and then we're gonna go to you and then back to Scott again. I think this is going to be
sorry, Dave.
This is going to be
Gary is doing shit for us collecting the Infinity commentary team.
Right.
I think this next round's going to be a massacre here.
So it is
Jack gets back-to-back picks.
Jack gets back-to-back picks.
Lucky boy.
My first pick is going to be Andrade El Idolo.
Nice pick. I was looking at him, was thinking that he could be a good get. Is there a question about how often he'll be there? I don't know.
Yeah, he's yet to have a match at AEW.
Well, he's going to wrestle it all out.
He's wrestling Pac all out.
I was very close to maybe considering him and Chavo as another manager wrestler tag team combination. Surprised no one went with that.
100%.
And I think that I need to draft a female here because of it'll be so long until I draft next. I think I will stick with what I know. Alexa Bliss comes back.
Yeah.
Jack's team.
A good
Wise.
pick, boys, don't you think?
Yep, very wise. You know, she's been featured on a Raw angle with Charlotte Flair. She could be challenging for the Raw Women's title soon. And I'm just so glad she's put Eva Marie and Piper Niven in her back window now, and she can finally move on to something, you know, a bit more rewarding.
Stop naming names, Dave.
Scott, it's back to you.
Well, even though I've got a couple of prominent females in my tag team, I need a female singles pick. So I think, given that I'm now quite early this round, it's my opportunity to take one. And so I'm going to go away from AEW for now. And I think I'm going to go to NXT and take potentially the next NXT Women's Champion, Kaylee Ray.
You
Damn it.
bastards. You bastards.
Very nice, very nice. Obviously, longest reigning NXT UK Women's Champion, Dave, just came all the way across the pond to NXT, and looks like she's going to be the next to challenge Raquel, who has not been taken off the board yet. Just
yeah, Raquel's still there. Yeah, Kaylee Ray appearing at TakeOver. You know, I think that's put the women's direction in a new direction now. She's already picked up one win over in NXT. Kaylee Ray has, and you know, I think it's long as she keeps that momentum.
It's like when you host your own show, a bit of draft, you can talk as long as you or as little as you want. But until now, know your role, shut your mouth.
Well, listen, boys, it looks terrible now, but Gary has went away from the commentary table and he's picked Karrion Kross.
Oh,
what the one that looks like one of the average Joe's initial dodgeball outfits now.
Hey, he's still winning. He is still
winning, actually. Yeah.
Yep, there you go. He is a gladiator now, Scott. He's here.
And he will have his draft victory in this season or the next.
But we move on. We'll get this going. Get this going fire, because we're already 40 minutes into this. Jesus. Sarah's next.
And Sarah Grieve has picked Doudrop.
Interesting Doudrop to go. Looks like she split away for Eva Marie, Dave.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to refer to her as Piper Niven, okay? Because Doudrop is the most ridiculous name ever. But a split from Eva Marie is exactly what she needed.
Oh, she's called herself Doudrop, Dave. So I think you just need to get used to it, to be honest.
Fine, okay. Well, she's broken out.
Sorry, Dave, when you go finish what you're saying.
No, that's fine. She's broke out as a single star. I hope she gets the ball rolling finally.
Ryan Gallagher's next, David Campbell.
The NXT champion has gone. Samoa Joe goes to Ryan Gallagher.
No surprise that I think maybe not a risk to take it round one, but you don't know how often Joe's going to wrestle, and we don't know about the takeover situation. If Saraya is using a Saturday, will takeover being a Sunday again? Will it count? Who knows?
I've asked JP for his pick and he's just replied "fuck," so I assumed that he wanted Joe.
Well, that's what you got to learn in this season, JP. You can't just pick after everyone else has done it.
Yeah, well, you've got to think about it. JP is coming in. We always say this about the Listeners' League winner. It is a different ball game up here. When you need to think about the spot, the pressure does get to you. All four of us have been in those positions before where you just need to make a pick because you can't pick anyone else. You know what I mean? But JP has went for one. We've talked about her. Dave, you love her. Raquel Gonzalez is picked.
Yes, yes, JP. Take
NXT Women's Champion, Dave. She's gone off the table with his head. Looks like she's facing Kaylee Ray. Mm-hmm. But the takeover situation, we don't know what's happening.
I think the takeover situation might be a bit of a setback. But as long as she gets title defenses and wins, I don't see why Raquel can't be a consistent scorer this season.
He's been all AEW so far. Campbell is Grant sticking with AEW.
He sticks with AEW and he goes for Sammy Guevara.
Interesting. The Spanish god, Spanish sex god. Give me a sex god if he wants to be a sex god, Scott. I don't care. He's trying to monopolize AEW here. Is this a bold strategy to go for?
Yes. That's short enough for you, Ryan Dalglish.
And with that, we move on to Stacey.
I didn't fucking take Doudrop.
Oh my God, Stacey Smith has went full heel. This is the heel turn because she's going with MJF.
Just coming off the big win off of Chris Jericho, Dave.
Yep.
MJF's off the board. Not done maybe you as many favors as what you would like, but who knows? MJF's been a winning team with me before. Could she be on a winning? Could he be in a winning team with Stacey?
He's been a bit of a quiet in terms of point scoring last season, but this time around, he's finally back in matches. He's winning again. You never know; he might surprise us.
And next it's Daniel Campbell.
Well, it's funny you're singing that, Jack, because I say I'm becoming. He picks Chris Jericho.
Yes, he is giving a statement tonight on AEW Dynamite, Scott, about his future in the company. Obviously, is contracted to the end of 2022, so he probably isn't leaving. But will he have a run of 5 matches in a row again? I'm not sure.
I don't think we'll have the consistency points-wise that we got from the 5 Labours of Jericho. And you also got to think Rampage, maybe once or twice he might not, be on there for a week. But he could also wrestle on Rampage if he's not commentating. So he's taking advantage of the extra show.
It's Stephen Wilson up next.
Stephen Wilson is mailing me saying this pick will be the most super. Well, almost. So I assume, let's get the confirmation in. Stephen Wilson picks Nikki ASH.
Former Raw Women's Champion here, Dave. Just lost the belt, but is very well known that Vince absolutely loves her for the appeal she can have to the younger generation. So I think she's going to be in Raw for some time to come.
Yeah, I think she's a fixture for sure, given the gimmick's popular with kids, families, etc. Needs to pick up some wins though. She's not had a very good winning streak as of late.
He really doesn't. He really doesn't.
Alan McLucas.
Alan he's telling me I'm taking a risk. ... What will that ... Oh my God. He has taken a risk. Whether he'll be in WWE or AEW, who knows? But he's went for Adam Cole, baby.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it. Scott, wherever he goes, if he goes main roster, Raw, SmackDown, if he goes AEW, he'll be right at the top.
Yeah, totally. He could be on SmackDown later this week. He could be on Rampage by the end of the week. So I'm hopeful by the actual kickoff of the season, we'll know where Adam Cole ends up.
Ross has said, fuck off. Clearly, Alan has stolen Ross's idea there. His pick, he was going to take Adam Cole. Alan, he gets in front of him. That's why the draft order matters. You know what I mean? Ross says, now this is what happens. We've talked about it, guys, the pressure. Now Ross needs to think. He's on the spot. He's on the fly. What is Ross McLeod going to do? You know what I mean? This is going to be I think Adam Cole. I think that's a bold pick, but I think it's a good pick. It's an exciting pick. One that you need to win a season like this, I think. But we need to see what's happening with Ross McLeod here.
Could be it. He won't have the 90 days because his contract's run up, so he's not leaving it early, so he'll be free to wrestle wherever he wants to go. Unfortunately, unfortunately for everyone else.
Even if there was a non-compete, it would only be 30 days given he was in NXT.
Yeah,
that's true.
He's trying to think here. He is still stalling as Mr. Ross McLeod. He has been absolutely bamboozled. Alan, if you're watching, you've thrown this man for a loop. You've thrown him for a loop, and now he needs to think about what's happening. The dots are on. The pick is coming in. As we all wait with bated breath. The next pick.
Think faster, indeed.
So he says, Ross said he's going to go with a female pick in round 3, but he's going to do it in round 2. Ross McLeod, who's he going to go for? We know it's a female. Ross McLeod is a fan of love. He's supporting the wedding of the century. He picks Indy Hartwell.
Excellent. What a pick. Obviously, part of the way going to get married to Dexter Lumis, so it seems, and Candice LeRae out of the picture. Scott, she's pregnant. I don't imagine she'll be drafted off the board. Indy Hartwell, she appears all over the place in NXT.
Yeah, and hopefully the wedding will happen sometime in the season. You'll get all sorts of maybe skits of them trying to plan the wedding, which means consistent appearance points for Ross.
Dave, it's yourself that's next, my friend. Who are you going for?
Give me the Intercontinental Champion, King Nakamura.
You bastard. That's a great pick.
Oh, I think he's loving life in Dundee again, which is absolutely great to see.
Okay.
He's had a massive resurgence.
Alan,
Campbell, I believe it's up to you next.
I think I need a female pick as well. And if Ryan's going to take custody of one of our kids, I'm going to take the other. I'll go for Sonia Deville.
Nice, another authority figure out the pool here, Dave. No surprise to see that happening.
Yep. I think Campbell was picking out the authority picks last time. I think this time around, it's become a prominent feature. Sonia Deville, authority, backstage appearances, easy points.
And I believe it is
back to Ryan Dalglish.
Yeah, the former Listener League winner. Will he be? Yes,
Alan and Ross having a shouting match in the comments. Yeah.
No wonder. This means what? Oh my God. Whoa. This man, I think he's only been drafted once, and it was by Stacey Smith way back in season 4.
Oh,
Correct me if I'm wrong. The beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar, has been picked by Ryan Dalglish.
Oh, that's bold.
And round 2 as well.
This is not. I don't think if you're drafting, I know it's a snake draft and whatnot here, Scott, but I don't think when you're in first, when you get that very first pick and you're in round 2, I don't think you go for Brock Lesnar.
Maybe not this high up, and he's not going to be on every week. He's going to be on SmackDown this week, but obviously it doesn't count. And the way Reigns is going, he could be on that bit all the way to WrestleMania, so Lesnar might not even get the title. So we'll see. He's going to probably not even wrestle to Saudi Arabia.
I agree with that, but he is here again to do his round 3 pick.
Sarah, you don't think I'm a spiteful man? I didn't forget about Frankie and Monet. My team just got instantly classic. I picked Christian Cage.
Well, what about Ryan? Snake draft, Campbell.
Oh, fuck. Oh, don't
jump the gun here, Campbell.
Don't do that, Ryan. Don't, no, fuck.
Do it, Ryan. Do it, Ryan.
Fucked up, man.
He's done it, didn't he?
I don't think he has. I think this is a ploy.
Campbell, how could you be so stupid for someone with such a massive head?
Maybe I'm carroting in the box here. Maybe I'm carroting in the box. Who knows? I'll say the same to it. No.
Do it.
Who's he going for? We need to think here.
It's like episode 3. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I got so excited. It is botchamania. I know it's a massive botch. It is a botch.
I'll scribble Christian Cage off my sheet anyway, because if he's not going now, he's going against David Campbell.
I know. I can't believe I did that. Still waiting on Ryan Dalglish's pick here. Oh, Daniel, I don't need you rubbing it in my face.
Do it.
Fuck. He's done it. He has done it. He's picked Christian Cage. Damn it.
Now, I won't go to Scott and Dave here because
Bastard.
I won't go to Scott and Dave here, but you've been known to play ruses in the past, Campbell. Was this one of them, or were you generally wanting Christian Cage?
I was generally wanting Christian Cage. I just panicked. I just jumped the gun. However, and every cloud has a silver lining. I'm going to take a risk, and I'm going to pick Orange Cassidy.
Ah.
Oh, a match against Matt Hardy tonight that won't count, but he's a cool guy, Dave. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like I got him in the transfer window and he scored up quite a lot of points. Actually, I think Orange Cassidy will be one of those sleeper picks that can appear on Rampage or Dynamite.
Well, you can't draft him this season. You just got drafted the pick before. Who are you taking now?
Well, I'm going to dip into the NXT pool myself, and I'm going to take somebody that's had a bit of a resurgence almost. He's got wins, he's got appearances, and he's part of a stable as well. I'm going to be taking Ridge Holland.
First time draft.
Interesting.
It is interesting. An Englishman.
I think there's maybe someone else would have taken from that group if I was in that position. But
don't give away. There's one thing you should learn from me, Jack. Don't give away who you're planning on picking.
But I'm going to get picked twice before you, so it doesn't matter.
That's fair.
That's a snake draft for you.
That's the snake draft, baby.
That's Dallas. Ross McLeod.
Here we go. See? Getting some people's heads here, Sarah.
Well, now we're thinking, Ross McLeod senses a heel turn and a breakaway, he says. It's like I'm communing with the dead here. I'm having a seance.
I think I can tell who he's going for.
Well, no, he said, in fact, fuck it. Appearance points. Sting has been picked, Ross. Sting has been picked as part of a tag team with Darby Allin. This is what you get for not doing your homework and paying attention in class. But it's not nice, Bora. It's not nice indeed. In fact, it's very unprofessional, I'd say, Ross. You know, that's what I would call it. If I was not to have fucked up moments before, I would say it's unprofessional. Guys, how are we feeling so far? This has been so exciting.
I've just realised I picked two members from my winning team, Nat Queen Cole, already.
Remember those days? Ross has made his pick. Dominic Mysterio.
Interested. One that we could probably a breakup will be in the horizon. We'll get a father-son match at some point, and it is one I would really like to see, Scott.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we thought the big turn was maybe coming at SummerSlam. It didn't, but there's always a chance it could come soon. Maybe big plans for Dominic soon.
Alan's next, David Campbell.
Waiting for Alan McLucas to make his pick, returning to the draft, taking big swings with his Adam Cole pick. It'll be hard to top that. It'll be hard to make a pick that's as impactful as what we've just seen. But what will Alan do? We will need to see here. He has went for Rosa. Thunder Rosa is going to Alan.
One of my best picks last season, and she wasn't even officially a part of AEW yet.
Well, what can you tell us about our Scott now that because Dark Elevation isn't going to be in the draft next season? Do you still predict some points heading Alan's way with Thunder Rosa?
Potentially, you got that Casino Battle Royal, the women's one at All Out. She'll probably be in that, and she could challenge Britt Baker at some point, so you never know.
Bastard.
Stephen Wilson's next.
He's picked. I'm fuming. It's a risk. I don't know if he's back yet. He probably will be back. Big things ahead. Hangman Adam Page is going to Stephen Wilson.
Interesting.
Not sure about
that. This high up, I'm not sure. I would have taken a battle in round 5. Also, I don't know how long he's going to be out for. He asked for his extended leave. Probably come back after All Out, but I see him challenging for the title day between now and Survivor Series. I don't know.
Might be a bit of a stretch, for being honest.
But
yeah, I think it'd have to be full gear, but I think that's after the draft window this time. Yeah, risky bet, and I'm not sure it's going to pay off.
Well, Daniel Campbell is picked, and returning from her holiday in the British Isles, she is amazing, beguiling.
Joseph in the wee donkey.
Eva Murray.
What, you do not approve of this pick, Dave?
No, because nobody likes Eva Marie.
I don't mind Eva Marie.
It doesn't matter if you like her or you're not, Dave. That's the draft, Dave.
We're professionals. We analyse, Dave. Maybe a stats man.
I would like to officially campaign for. I'd like to officially campaign for Eva Marie to be in every segment of every episode of Raw, just to further piss David Hawkins.
Dave, tell us about Eva Marie once she came in the draft last season after the transfer window. How did she get on?
Well, in what was meant to be the longest scoring season of the lot, it was quite a pitiful performance with 17 points. But then again, it was scoring a lot more than the likes of, say, Jeff Hardy, Mustafa Ali, and even Asuka at one point, which was quite surprising. But then again, Asuka's been off TV since Money in the Bank, so you can't really sort of fault her for that.
She is beautiful, beguiling. She's my pick, so deal with it.
The disembodied voice makes his prediction. Stacey has made a choice. Mamma Mia or the Jersey Boys? Not kidding on. That's your other Dice reference for the night for those keeping score. Instead, Stacey goes for Jomo, John Morrison, to Stacey Smith.
Oh.
Shit. I am actually pretty annoyed with this because I was going to go for him if it got to me at my next 2 picks, but we got it's a breakaway between himself and the Miz. I see this being quite a long-standing rivalry, which probably Raw needs at the moment here, Scott. I don't see this being a bad pick at all.
No, definitely not. Feuding him with The Miz, potential match at Extreme Rules. You know, this will be an interesting one. It's been a while since I don't think we've ever had him as a singles pick.
Stacey likes
I
Eva
don't
Marie.
think so.
Stacey likes Eva Marie, and I love it. Jack, if you were unhappy about the last pick, you'll be even more unhappy with this one. I did tell you to keep your mouth shut. Grant me, Robbie, it goes away from AEW to pick the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne.
Just smack my elbow off the radiator.
A double blow for our host.
Get what you deserve.
The host of the most has lost Pete Dunne.
What happens when you accidentally reveal a potential pick before your turn? You get what you deserve.
This is it.
One of these things. But it's JP that's next.
It is JP. We are waiting in his pick. He went to the David Hockney well in the last round. You know, big Raquel Gonzalez with the pick there. You know what I mean? He's got a team so far: Darby Allin and Sting, Finn Balor, Raquel Gonzalez. He's added to that team as we speak. Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano goes to JP.
Very nice, very nice. He will be involved in this wedding shenanigans that's going to be happening.
But,
no doubt.
Look what you've started, Dave. You've made the comments very angry.
Dave, why have you done this to us?
I can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe you've done this. Dave, you must have had a dream. You must have made it. Now they don't go and push them all out the way. Ryan Gallagher picks Sasha Banks.
Ooh, well, there you go.
Is she an anti-vaxxer? Did she go out and have dinner before the pay-per-view at SummerSlam?
How dare she? How dare she have dinner? God forbid.
I do not know. But Dave, when you look at Sasha Banks in the draft, historically speaking,
it's either she has a very good or a very bad season. And towards the tail end of last season, it went from good to promising to very bad. And I think it's going to be very bad this coming season if Becky's going to be the feud going forward.
Well, there we go. Sarah Graves will be next to
take
her.
She's went to NXT and she's went with Kyle O'Reilly.
Very nice, very nice. Scott, your team before her, potentially maybe coming up against Samoa Joe at some point, but he's one of the main men at NXT.
Very interesting. You know, he didn't really get the heights that I wanted him to. You know, I missed out on a big potential points to end the season, given that TakeOver wasn't included. But, you know, I think there's still time for Kyle O'Reilly to get that big singles push, you know, towards the actual title.
Not that you're better.
No. I'm not a better person. You should know that about me.
But we go to Gary Kernahan.
We go to Gary Kernahan, but Gary Kernahan is going, say it with me, to the moon!
To the moon!
Cameron Grimes.
He's making money, Dave. He's stacking money. Isn't it funny in a drafting world?
It is funny, given that, you know, he's now been stuck with a replica $1 million championship. I mean, if he's going to go anywhere now, I suppose it is to the moon. But seriously, where is he going to go now? That's what I'm most concerned about.
Yes, you should check out Quiz Zone 4. A good time was had by all.
It was a good time had by all.
And Scott, we go to yourself. Who's your third round pick?
Oh, it's getting down to it now, isn't it? I'm looking at the main roster especially, because then you could start going towards that way, you know. Stop it. You're not helping. You are not helping me at all. See, I really wanted Nakamura by this point, but some arsehole took him.
I was thinking the same, mate. I was fuming.
Actually, I might just move another pick maybe a round ahead because I can't think of somebody else. I'll go for another female pick. And this might be a risk I'm taking here. Shut up, Ryan.
Ryan, the more you interrupt him, the longer it will take.
The pressure is on me here. I'm going to SmackDown. I'm taking a woman, and I really think this one should be a consideration for Queen of the Ring. I'm going to go Liv Morgan.
Interesting one. Interesting.
I'm saying excellent because you've left the woman that I want to take in the next 2 rounds because it is snake draft and I'm getting 2 hits back to back. For my round 3, I don't predict they'll be winning a lot of matches, but I do predict they'll be all over SmackDown, and I am taking Baron Corbin.
Oh, that's a great pick. That is a great pick.
Yeah.
He's doing the work of his career right now, man. Absolutely. Love that.
And then we go to round 4. It's me, Jack Graham. And Jack Graham will be drafting Jade Cargill.
An interesting one for that AEW pick. Nice.
Yeah, she's been on Rampage the past 2 episodes, I believe, and she's won both, and she's been in Dynamite getting interviews as well. I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy getting Jade Cargill in that position. We'll see how it works out, and it goes to Scott McLeod.
I think maybe I should go back to AEW again. Take a pick I thought about last season, but didn't, and then he ended up having a good start, at least to the first half of last season. He's unpredictable as a pick. You might call him a wild thing. He makes everybody's heart sing.
Yes.
I'm thinking, Jan,
Wild thing.
I love it.
Dave, who makes your heart sing?
Adam Cole, baby.
It's definitely not Tiffany, as we learned a few weeks ago. I'm so disappointed in you.
But we go to Gary Kerrigan.
Looking for Gary Kerrigan.
Hokey and guitar.
Gary Kerrigan. So we're waiting for Gary here.
I'm annoyed at you, Jack. I had Jade Cargill ready for this round.
I'm so upset.
Well,
I didn't see Grant's comment. It was only one episode, but none of them matter. I think she'll be a prominent fixture on Rampage. But Gary's pick, sorry.
Well, you might be upset, but are you mean? But no one's meaner than Tamina. Gary picks Tamina.
Then Big Tam.
Yes.
Big Tam.
I believe this is this the first time Scott's been drafted as a singles competitor?
Yes, and for good reason.
Well, she is. So she is a champion, so she wins a match. She'll get that one extra championship bonus point.
Oh man, I love it. I do have the Sarah Greaves next pick ready to go. An alien. Not much more to say. Chris Statlander.
Dave's picks are going left, right, and centre here.
A man before your time, Dave. A man before your time. What do we think about the alien?
You know what? Again, another sleeper pick from last season, scoring 35 points across multiple appearances and wins from Dynamite and Rampage. Could be, as long as she keeps that momentum going, I think it's a safe points getter.
I think you'll be right there as well. And we go to Ryan Gallagher. What will his next pick be?
It's one I was maybe saving for round 5. It's very interesting at the present time. A guaranteed win at the next pay-per-view for Mr. Paul White is in Ryan's team.
Up against Big QT Marshall. Scheduled to be in Dynamite tonight. Mm-hmm. Is he going to be in Dynamite much more often, Scott? He is a commentator in Dark Elevation, and that counts for nothing this season.
Absolutely nothing.
Is it just potential all-out points?
I think so. It's maybe just a short-term game rather than a long-term thing, because I don't anticipate he'll be... We talked about how little Punk will wrestle. I think Paul White will wrestle even less than that.
Well, it's absolutely lovely to see Paul White being drafted in such a big show. But we go to JP.
Big show.
No one else picked up on that. I'm not convinced it was intentional. At this stage in the stream, his brain's not working well enough to get that type of joke out. We've been here for over an hour. Wit is gone. Razor sharp tongue twisters are gone. We're here purely to deliver the news at this point as we wait for JP here. Wait, boys, do you want the next pick?
I'd like it. Yeah, be prepared.
Well, let me talk to you. It's L.A.
Knight.
I love that because all our internet connections are so shite, we couldn't do that in unison there. It was all like L-L-L-A-A.
I do love him so much, though. He's so great.
And I guess it's Grant McRobbie that's next.
It is Grant McRobbie. Grant has made an intro. Obviously, we'll discuss this on our next show. I quite like Grant's team so far. I'm not going to lie to you. So, Grant McRobbie has made a pick. It's Dakota Kai.
An interesting one here, Dave. Just lost to your former pick, Raquel Gonzalez, but I still imagine she'll be in and about the show regularly.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because it could either be hit or miss. She has had a few dark matches on the main roster. Does that mean she's going to the main roster? Hard to say, really. Could she appear in NXT? Will she be around, though? I mean, only time's going to tell with this one.
So we are waiting on Stacey Smith here to make her pick. It'll be interesting to see who Stacey goes for here. I think this is going to be a really tasty one. But
I'm buzzing, man. I'm buzzing. I can't wait. I can't pick the last round, but I'm hoping that there's folk have slipped through the cracks that I've got highlighted in my wee notebook here.
I've got 2 people highlighted for round 5 picks in my head, and I'm hoping at least one of them is still around. When
I know, Scott, you're a smart guy, so you probably got the folk that I'll be wanting as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting because this is wait a minute, Stacey's made a pick. It's someone who's going to be in Raw a lot. And is going to be feuding with one of our previous picks. So she get all the points for this feud. She's going for The Miz.
I mean, that's a lot. It's been a long time, Scott, since we've seen a rivalry being picked by the same person as 2 single picks. And I welcome it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see it often. Sometimes you get 2 people feuding in a tag team. David knows about that. But, it also does mean to get appearance for them, like, in segments together. How that will affect her actually winning when they actually have matches. I think the points will cancel themselves out then.
Colin Moore commenting in, good guy. But we move on. We've got no time for good guys. We're all ruthless bastards here that need to get on with the draft. It's Daniel Campbell next.
Daniel is drafting tonight on the stream. He wants to do an impression. On you come, Daniel.
Oh, God.
He's picked Dexter Lumis.
Oh, for God's sake.
I've got a hit counter of how many times Daniel's going to interrupt the stream going through it. I think we're at 3 or 4 now.
Well, Daniel picks Dexter Lumis. Big wedding coming up. Big wedding.
Big wedding. What do you think Dexter Lumis's speech will be like at the wedding?
Kind of like...
Excellent. So we move on to Steven Wilson.
I genuinely thought you were staying frozen there, Scott. I was like, what the hell? That's far too good. That's far too good. We are waiting on Mr. Steven Wilson. He makes the draft. Cheats when he wants to. So we're gonna have to see.
Do we think Steven Wilson will count points for Dark and Dark Elevation in his team?
No. Because he hates them as much as I do. That's a stretch too far.
Yeah.
But he wants in the wedding action. He's going for Mama Wrestling, the Maid of Honor. It's going to be Candice LeRae.
This is an interesting one. This is one I spoke about previous, Dave. And obviously, I can't believe this has had more seasons than Community.
10 seasons in a movie.
That popular.
But we know she is pregnant, so she's not going to be wrestling. I don't know how often she's going to be appearing on NXT. I don't know how good a pick this might be.
Yeah, I think it depends.
I think it's up.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say I think it's pretty poor, if I'm being honest, especially if it's going to be kept off TV because of pregnancy.
No, it's a short season. I think she will be involved in the wedding. I don't think it's as bad as you guys are making it out to be. To be honest with you, Gary's picked commentators for appearance points. Candice could get maybe 2 or 3 appearances with these wedding segments coming in throughout the show. You know what I mean? So I have to back him up there. So we are waiting on Alan's pick returning to the season. Guys, out of the returning players, who do you think's done the best so far?
It's an interesting one.
Between Alan and Grant for me.
Grant, definitely.
I would have said Grant. But I'm not sold on Dakota Kai as a pick just yet. But if it's not Grant, I'd say Alan.
We're waiting on Alan's next pick. He's taking some risks. Lashley MVP, Rhea Ripley, Adam Cole was the big risk, and he picked Thunder Rosa last. Maybe in these last 2 picks, he really has open. He really has open reign with who he's going to be going for. Mind you, he's tried to pick 2 people who have already been picked so far. So we do need to see.
And he moans at Ross for doing similar things. This is what happens, especially at this stage.
Get to that point where people are running out of the options here. He was asked about Big E. Big E went fairly early. Asked about Jungle Boy, who of course went as part of Jurassic Express, Ross McLeod's pick. Damn it. I wish I hadn't done that, mate. I've been wanting to draft this guy for seasons. As JR would say, a future world champion. He picks Wardlow.
Oh, big Wardlow.
It'll be by NGF side. Alan and Stacey hand in hand. We absolutely love to see it going through the
alliance.
Our 2 returning players.
Match-wise, I think he's more likely for Dark or Elevation.
Well, Ross McLeod's made a pick. A lot of people have been sleeping on here. He just won a championship opportunity. Any title he wants in NXT, Ross McLeod picks Carmelo Hayes.
Ooh, very good.
Very good. Very good.
Just won it last night there, Hockney.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, it was, I think, from a few months ago, you could tell, I think he was going to be impactful on NXT, and now he's officially an NXT superstar and a championship match lined up. I'm more curious to see who he's going to go challenge for. Will he go straight for Samoa Joe? Will he go for any of the other titles? It's hard to say, really.
But it doesn't matter what Carmelo Hayes is going to do, Dave. What are you going to do?
What you going to do?
Ooh, well, I'd lost a few good female picks out of this, but I'm going to choose somebody who I think might get featured on AEW Rampage a fair bit. And I'm going to take Red Velvet.
Red Velvet, interesting. Someone that I don't know a whole lot about, Scott. I won't tell no lie, but I did have her down on my list because I do know that she features quite a bit. But I don't know if she maybe features maybe more on Dark and Dark Elevation than she will the other 2 shows.
Maybe. I don't think she'll end up on the winning side a lot this season now. I know a lot about her because David Campbell tried to get Red Velvet from me in exchange for Bayley. I think I should have given them that now, considering what happened to Bayley.
There you go. I actually, funnily enough, had Bayley written down, completely forgetting she's like broke her leg, so I better just score that name out pretty quick and we move on to David Campbell.
2 wee seconds.
Oh, Dave, now we've been here for
this is what it does to you, man. This is
what I will ask Campbell, see when it gets to the 5th round, can you ask the competitors to send in their captaincy picks along with our 5th round pick as well, so we're not needing to go back round again?
Yes, and send in your team names if you can, boys, as well.
Now, bear in mind, some team names have already been predetermined. So, if you end up duplicating a team name, you'll be overruled and you have to pick a different one.
I was going to do something. Fuck.
Do it.
I'm going to pick Rick Boogs.
Excellent.
He was a round 5 pick I had in mind.
I don't want to say too much because anything that I was going to say could potentially be future picks for other people.
Why did no one think of him and Nakamura as a tag team?
I know. Probably did.
That is a good question. Before we move on to Ryan Wation, he'll be making his last 2 picks. And remember, Ryan, please submit your picks and your captaincy and your team name.
So it's worth checking in at this point that Ryan has picked Heyman and Reigns, he's picked Becky Lynch, he's picked Brock Lesnar. So one of these picks, Ryan Dalglish, needs to be a woman. But his pick he's picking right now is the 24/7 champion, and that is Reggie.
Forgot about him.
That's going to be a surprise later in the season. He's going to crack at some points, I think.
I think what I see with him, I don't see him losing because I think Vince just loves all the gymnastic stuff, but it will be over the show. It'll probably be more pay-per-views as well. He won't get defense points for kicking out of the title, I don't think it works like that. Well, maybe it's something to clarify with Stephen Wilson, but he's got a 5th round pick to make.
Final pick. You got to make this count.
He's such a bastard. Oh. He has... His team name is Hire Me Steven. His captain is Becky Lynch.
Nice.
And after what he's done here, he will not be hired, and I'll make sure of it because he's picked Frankie Monet.
She has also recently stayed interested in taking the NXT Women's title, Campbell.
Yeah, absolutely. And
And
now
it is your
leaves
next.
me, Jack. Could you remind me of my team? I need to pick a woman here. I think I
You
do.
have the Usos, you have Drew McIntyre, you have Orange Cassidy, you have Rick Boog, so you do need to pick a female.
Okay.
It's hard enough to get to at least two women
sorry,
in
I
a
did
regular
that.
season.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to get two women on a regular season, and now with fucking 16, it's almost. And given that what happened in the tag round as well,
It's almost impossible. I think I'm going to need to go boring. I think I need to go safe, and I'm going to go with Natalya.
The other half of the women's tag team champions. Scott obviously did have a bit of an injury.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think
sorry.
she's cleared yet, but she'll be back in a couple of weeks, I think, isn't she? Because depending on what happens with those tag titles, that could end up being, unfortunately, otherwise be hit too harsh here, but one of the more underwhelming last round picks, depending on what happens.
She was in the championship contender match on the Go Home SmackDown before SummerSlam, so she is back in action.
Yeah, I'm going to go with my captain as Drew McIntyre, and Team Goat will be returning as my team name also.
Of course.
I think the captaincy on Drew instantly makes you a favourite to win this season. Hockney, onto yourself.
Yeah,
your last
and I'm
pick,
going to be
your captain and your team name.
I'm surprised nobody's picked this person because they were a very high scorer last season, and I still think they're going to be a prominent feature for SmackDown going forward. So my 5th round pick is going to be Daddy Mysterio, Rey Mysterio.
Good pick. Solid pick.
That's a very good pick for
I think the reason nobody picked him is if this Dominic feud does happen, as Ross probably thinks it's because he picked Dominic, it's going to be Rey's going to be used to put Dominic over. So
well, that's why it's a 5th round pick. You know, it's a bit of a hit or miss, but he could just surprise me. And my captain is going to be who did I pick first? Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair's my captain, and as fittingly, you need a queen to be the captain of the West End Country Club.
He said, on to Ross next, who has got to take a female competitor here.
Yeah, well, his team name is Glamorous Indie Rock and Roll.
Excellent. Good Killers reference there.
His captain is Mr. Money in the Bank, Big E, and his final pick, he claims she is the future Queen of the Ring. It's Toni Storm.
Very good. Someone that I do see doing pretty well in this scheduled Queen of the Ring tournament.
Granville, fix your clock.
But we move on to Alan, who has free reign of who he wants to take in his last pick, as he has Lashley, MVP, Rhea Ripley, Adam Cole, Thunder Rosa, and Wardlow. So captaincy, last round pick, and team name for him, please, Campbell.
Yeah, we're waiting on Alan coming in here. With his captaincy, his team name, his last round pick. It's all very exciting. This a big season, and it feels like everyone came to play as well. You know what I mean? Like everyone's came to play here. It's very, very interesting.
I'm sweating absolute balls.
Same, mate. It's so warm. Notice how we've not dressed up for this occasion. No suit jackets on tonight, boys.
No.
The Champions League is Alan's team name. He's very confident in what's going to happen. MVP and Lashley are his captains. His final pick from Hit Row, Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Shit. That is one that we thought would slip through the cracks.
What do we think of Isaiah Swerve Scott?
Very surprised that the NXT North American champion, probably one of the most prominent fixtures of NXT, recently slipped down to round 5. Probably the title Carmelo Hayes will go after, but I don't think he'll lose. But what's your thoughts, Scott?
I think he's really grown the last couple of seasons. You know, he's not. I don't think we've seen a lot of him in the draft, but I think given how over Hit Row are, he'll be a consistent player, and I don't see him dropping that North American title anytime soon.
And we move to Stephen Wilson. He has Rated RK Bro, Damian Priest, Nikki Cross, Adam Page, Candice LeRae.
Yeah, his captains are rated RK Bro. His team name is Average Samoa Joe's. Which is an interesting one.
Very good.
Does have Samoa Joe in his team. But he's telling me he's going to take a massive, massive risk with this last pick. As like one of Alan's picks, we know he is back soon, but just don't know where fully. and he is going for the leader of the Yes Movement, Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson.
Oh,
I think we should make him pick one name. And if he turns up in one place, he doesn't get the points.
I like your thinking, but he'll never go for it. So I'm not going to argue with it. But we are going to go to Daniel Campbell. We have Pretty Fly for a Paul Heyman guy is his team name, as we've heard earlier. His team captain is Seth Rollins, putting a lot of faith in old Sethy boy. His last pick is someone who I know very well. The Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler.
Interesting. I think this is probably gave another option for folk to pick later on as well. They seem to have been slipped and forgotten about. Here, Dave, what do you think?
Again, a bit of one that's a bit of a hit and miss. If he does appear, he doesn't. I think, yeah, pretty bold if I do say so.
But we do go to Stacey Smith, who has AJ Nomos, Bianca Belair, MJF, John Morrison, The Miz, so she has to take a female competitor here.
So the Nikki Barden Bellas for Stacey Smith here. What are they going to do? What are they going to do?
We don't tolerate that kind of language here on Saturday Draft Live.
I actually tolerate it. It's hilarious. I don't know who he's calling again. Who's he calling again?
Ross, apparently.
It's friendly banner. It's fine.
I think that Stacey is going to need a wee second here. So just let's give Stacey her time to
just don't be naming extra names here because we could be giving folk ideas.
Jack, who was my last pick again? I've forgotten.
It was Natalia.
Of course it was. Yeah.
Sarah wins. Sarah wins this chat.
Not helping Stacey at all here. So that we can go home.
We all, as hard as it is to believe, we all have lives to go to.
We all have lives to go to after this. She needs to pick a woman.
A woman.
To be honest, there's not much left to choose from. She's going to have to dig deep here.
Okay. So she has picked her last round pick. She's going to AEW and she's going for Ty Conti as her last round pick. And her captain is Bianca Belair.
Excellent.
You know what?
Very
Stacey's actually put together a pretty good team. Like, Tay Conti was drafted last season and scored 20 points.
On her own. Yeah, she's done well. That's our Stacey tonight. A very, very good thing for Stacey. We're waiting on Grant. We're waiting on his team name. We're waiting on his captain, and we're waiting on his last round pick.
It has to be a female.
Yeah, it has to be a female, and he's done that. It's Zelina Vega is his pick. His captain is CM Punk, and his team name is the Second City Saints.
Excellent.
I like it.
As you do.
I like that we have a name we can pronounce this year as well.
Yeah, 100%. I am so grateful.
Still as ND as ever.
Not Los Goblin Ares de Stene.
Okay. So we are waiting for team name, captain, and last pick for JP. Does he need He does need a woman here. Needs to be a woman.
And he needs to pick a female in the draft as well.
That's what he just said.
Oh, damn it.
He literally just said.
It
was an attempt at humour. Twas a cat. But we are waiting on the last pick from JP. He's saying a minute. We've been here for 83 minutes, JP.
I will say, see, looking at JP's team, see, for like, obviously that's the biggest season we've done yet. Drafting from like the lower half of the table when it's first time doing it properly. I don't think he's done too badly here.
I don't think he's done too badly. I think JP's came in here with a strategy. I think he's came in here with a game to play. He's clearly won the Listeners League for a reason. To keep it simple for the air poultry pumper.
Yes.
I assume he is talking about Mr. Jack Graham. Yes, it was a cat, Daniel, and we have time to waste. So please play the cat clip, please. Thank you, Daniel, for stalling for time there. He is going for Casey Catanzaro as his last round pick as JP. His captain is Johnny Gargano, and his team name is Go Hard or Go Home, which is what many of us would love to do right now. But we are continuing with the draft. What do people think of Casey Catanzaro?
I think this will be an interesting pick. I think that the NXT Women's titles have been forgotten about, and I believe that she'll be involved in that coming up. And I think for a round 5 pick in this draft, a very solid pick.
Yeah, well, Northmen, Southmen, comrades all are back in the draft with Ryan Gallagher. His captain is Scrap Daddy. He's done it again. And his last pick, she's not like most girls, it's Nia Jax.
Very nice, very nice.
Yep.
Back in the draft, and I think we move on to Sarah Grieve.
Sarah Grieve. I believe Sarah did it quite early on because she was convinced that. So she's got her women. So our team name is Team Historic. A team name with substance in this draft. Our captain is Malachi Black. Her last pick to round out is Pat McAfee.
Nice. A name I wasn't wanting to say when we were talking about Rick Boogs earlier on. Glad to see him drafted in. They are.
Folks, may I provide some breaking news?
Yes.
It was posted earlier in our group chat that Pat McAfee has tested positive for COVID.
Ooh.
That has been your breaking news bulletin.
That does affect
and now the weather.
The picks. That does now the weather. And now it's the Ross Cargill at the EPA.
I think that the good thing with that is that it's only going to cost her 1 point, and it'll probably only cost her 1 show next week. So I don't think it's too big a miss for Sarah.
Another historic team name coming back. It's Team Viscera with Gary Kernan, and his last pick is Io Shirai. Io Shirai is his last pick. The Genius of the Sky NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, and his captain, Karrion Kross.
Interesting. I think that Gary's team is one to keep an eye on this season, considering the people he has picked, and I think that it will bring good topics of conversation for us.
Always the bridesmaid.
Yeah. Well, he's drafting very low. He has a history of drafting quite high. Is how he gets those scorers. This is the first season he's had to adapt his game really in a while and draft low. So we'll see how it works out for Gary.
Scott, it's you. You have free reign. You've got Baker and Hare, Miro, Kaylee Ray, Liv Morgan, John Moxley.
I'm between an AEW pick and an NXT pick, but for now I will tell you that my captain is Miro once again.
Nice.
I see some more TNT title defenses in the future. Even though the dentist is not my captain, I have changed my name to honor another famous wrestling dentist and call my team Isaac Draftham.
I like it.
Oh,
very sensible.
You know what? You talk about collecting the same way that Gary did, we're all commentators together. I'm going to go with a female, somebody who will be in segments with Baker and Jamie Hayter. I'm taking Reba or Rebel, whatever the hell her name is.
It's Rebel, not Reba.
Rebel they'll all be in segments. They're all being segments together. So that means appearance points for her as a singles and appearance for my tag team.
I think he's actually pulled a blinder here, getting all three of them in one go.
Yeah, I felt a big sweep. News in, Alan McLucas has changed his team name to the MVPs as well. If we want to note that down, the MVPs will be the name going forward.
Nice. And my round 5 pick has... Oh, Daniel's in again. Hello, Daniel.
We interrupt this to bring you a new breaking news story. The source of the last breaking news story was Grant McRobbie. Hopefully he's now happy I have credited him. That has been your breaking news.
Back to you. I did see that Grant was unhappy with Daniel and has wanted to be credited, but it does bring us Jack Graham. You're rounding out the draft.
Right, so my team name is going to be called the Two Hit Wonders after being double champ of the draft.
Fair.
My captain is going to be Andrade El Idolo.
Ooh.
And my 5th round pick, who will be on Dynamite and who will be on Rampage every week, it's Taz.
It's Taz.
As
I thought about him
It's
earlier on.
Taz.
It's a great pick. I think it's a great pick.
And on that note, the draft is over, folks.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you've enjoyed being here. It's an hour and a half.
It's
Too
been
long. Too
it's
long.
been such a great draft though, and we knew it was going to be. I'm surprised we kept it to an hour and a half with
This could be
15 competitors. You know.
yeah, this is like one of our feature shows that you can catch in our back catalogue every Tuesday.
Yeah, mental. I've enjoyed myself.
I've enjoyed it.
It's a fresh
Thank you for
start.
everyone for participating in the draft. We look forward. We'll see who's the ESSR champion at the end of the season. I will thank everyone commenting, watching, listening, participating. I hope you've liked listening to me for an hour and a half and the rest of the boys. We've got stuff coming up soon. Obviously, we'll have Central coming out at some point. SDA will be back on Saturday. Sunday, I go up against Scott McLeod and book it. We book a TNA versus WWE 2010 pay-per-view. That'll be an awful lot of fun. It will be a good match. All I've got to say is, David Hockney, thank you very much for being here.
Always happy to be here.
Scott, thank you very much for being here.
Always a good time on the selection show. I can't wait to slag Areas' team on Saturday.
And David Campbell, thank you very much for being here as well.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Just stick to the rhythm and the music you're used to.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.